If you want to know what's working in video marketing in 2019, I've got all the tips and we're starting right now. If you want to transform your website into a customer or lead generation machine, I'll show you all my best tips, tactics, and secrets to get there fast. Let's dive in. Hey there, Wes McDowell here, web strategist for the deep end, and if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and click on the subscribe button and the little bell icon next to it so you never miss another video you need to succeed online. We do 2 a week and you don't want to miss any of them. So using video in your marketing efforts is only gaining popularity in the new year, and for good reason. 72% of businesses say that using video has actually improved their conversion rates, and 52% of consumers say that watching some kind of a product video online makes them more confident in their purchasing decisions. So it's for these reasons and more that I highly recommend that you make 2019 the year that you finally start using video in your business. But here's the thing, it's not enough to just make any video. So there are a few kinds of videos that'll let you do the most good in the new year. So starting right off the top, the first kind of video that's really going to make a big difference in 2019 is to use video to tell your customer's story with your business as the guide. You know, a few years back when video marketing was just more of a new trend, many businesses jumped on board without really thinking too much about it, thinking it was going to be a great way to tell their own story. You know, how they got started, why they got started, and what makes them so great as a business. But now that we've had a little time to live with it, we're starting to see how little that approach actually works. We now know that we shouldn't be telling our story, but our customer's story, and how our business can act as their mentor or their guide, getting them from point A to point B. So by making a really simple 60-second video, and that's really all it has to be, by the way, 60 seconds long, where you call your customer out, you talk about what they want, and the problem that's standing in their way, how you can fix that problem, and the potential amazing outcome that's waiting for them on the other side of it. Now you're making a video that makes your audience sit up and pay attention. And that can even just be a really simple talking head style video, kind of like what I'm doing right now, with some B-roll footage just to kind of liven things up. Okay, the second video marketing tip I want to bring up is emphasizing people over business. You know, in today's world, people really value authenticity in all forms, and they would rather see your business for the people that make it up. So I really want to see you in the new year drop some of those barriers that overly polished and overly professional videos can create and just get a little more real. And of course, the level to which you can do this is going to depend on the industry you're in. You know, some industries are just naturally, they have to be a little more professional than others. But there is a way to find that balance between personality and professionalism. And I'm willing to bet that even if you're in an industry that's a little more buttoned up and professional, you can probably get a little more personal than you think you can. So how do you do this though? You know, basically what I recommend is when you're speaking to the camera, try to think of it like you're speaking to a friend rather than just a faceless audience of customers. And if you're actually going to go through the process of scripting your video out rather than outlining, make sure that you script it more like the way you speak. Don't try to really overly focus on grammar rules. That's not very important. Even in written copy, it's not that important. And don't use bigger words than are necessary. You know, you really still can demonstrate authority while making your video relatable at the same time. And if you do that, you will connect more with your potential customers and they're gonna like you more. And at the end of the day, that is a huge motivating factor. You know, people always wanna work with or buy from people that they like rather than stuffy businesses. All right, next I want to talk about a pretty massive opportunity in video marketing in 2019, and that is using YouTube ads. You know, YouTube is definitely one of the biggest sites in the entire world. You're on it right now. But I think most businesses are still late to the party advertising on it, probably mostly because they're scared of actually making videos, particularly small businesses. But the truth is, YouTube ads are one of the best ways to put your brand and your offer in front of the exact right people at the exact right time. They actually have some of the best targeting options around because you can put yourself in front of people who are actively looking for the services that you provide by using what they call in-market audiences. So to explain that, you know, YouTube is owned by Google, so they know who's searching for web design companies or accounting firms or family attorneys, for instance. Then you just make your ad and tell YouTube, I only want this ad to show in front of people who are looking for those particular services. And that's just one targeting option. There's actually way more as well. You can target people who are watching a particular topic of video, who live in a certain either state, city, or even zip code. You can even target things like income level. If you have a high ticket service you provide, you can make sure that only people who are qualified to pay for your service can actually see your ad. You can even make a list of your competitors' websites and tell YouTube to show your ads to everyone who's been to any of those websites recently. So if you were to make that customer saga story video that I talked about earlier and use it this way on YouTube, that would be a really compelling and strategic ad that you could put in front of your ideal customer for pennies a view. Okay, next I want to talk about using video in email marketing. So if you've seen any of my other videos on the topic of email, you know I'm a big believer in email marketing. Even with all the social media platforms out there, email is still the best way to develop a relationship over time with potential customers, giving them really helpful advice and helpful content, which allows you to build up authority and trust over time. Now, if just using plain text emails can do all of that, imagine 10xing the power of that by including a simple video in that email. So how do you do it? Basically just take whatever the content you were going to share in that text email, and you can still list it out in text form within the body of the email, but make a video about it as well. And these videos don't need a whole lot of production value either. If you have an iPhone or a smartphone, that is generally good enough. You can do it selfie style if you need to. Just get the content out there. That's much more important than the way you're presenting it. And in some cases, having that selfie style is actually going to be preferable because remember, it adds to the authenticity factor and it makes you seem more personable and relatable as a brand. Just upload the video to YouTube and then get a screenshot of the thumbnail of the video and then put that as an image right in the body of the email that's linked to that video on YouTube. This is going to majorly increase the likelihood that your message is even going to be received at all because people are about 3 times more likely to consume a video as opposed to reading the same content in written form. And not only that, but if you put the word video in your email subject line, letting them know there's a video in the email, people are about twice as likely to even open that email. Okay, the next opportunity I want to talk about are custom welcome videos. So if your website exists largely to schedule consultations or appointments, you can use really simple custom videos to increase the show-up rates for those appointments and build a lot of really good loyalty and trust right up front for very little effort. Imagine if someone were to schedule a consultation on your site and then a few minutes later they get an email with a video in it that's welcoming them to your world by name. This sets the stage immediately that they're going to have an amazing customer experience with you and your business. Now, if that sounds hard or time consuming, it doesn't have to be. There's actually an app, an online app called Bonjoro that you can use that basically alerts you whenever you get a new appointment. And then right within the app, you just record a really quick video and it automatically gets emailed to them within the software. Now, it's not a free service. It is $29 a month, I believe. However, if that cuts down on your no-shows and builds more loyalty and gets more people to actually show up for your consultations, that's going to really increase the likelihood that they're going to become customers. So that $29 a month really will pay for itself quite quickly if you can even get like 1 extra customer a month out of it. And not only that, but it just goes a really long way toward building goodwill. I just recommend, welcoming them by name, reiterating the appointment day and time, letting them know what they can expect from the consultation and anything they need to have prepared. By the time you do this a few times, you'll probably have your spiel down cold.
Yada, yada, yada. I get a free massage and a facial.
What a succinct story.
So it'll be a really easy process every time you get a new consultation. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is a process video. So one of the biggest obstacles that a lot of your potential customers are probably going through when they come to your site is they don't really know how the process is going to go if they choose to work with you, especially if you offer something that's a little more complicated. So why not make a really quick video that distills the entire process into 3 or 4 really easy to understand steps? Imagine if you are about to climb a rock wall and you look up and all you see is just a big flat surface. That's probably going to look pretty intimidating to you, right? But what if instead of a flat surface, you saw little rocks jutting out that were labeled 1, 2, and 3, so you knew exactly where you were going to grip and where you were going to step all the way up? That would make the whole process seem a lot more doable. And this is the kind of thing that you want to accomplish with your video. Just say something like, first schedule a consultation. Second, we'll meet and put together a solid plan. And then finally, we'll put that plan into action. Notice how that didn't even have to be super detailed. In fact, sometimes it can work better that way by keeping things really simplified. In most cases, including too many details is going to be overwhelming to people and lead to fewer conversions, not more. So try to keep it to 3 simple steps, 5 at the most, and even if you have the kind of process that's more complicated, like 30 steps or something long like that, try to consolidate some of those steps into phases. So you just have 3 different phases to walk people through. And when you're done, you can use this as a YouTube ad or a Facebook ad, and you can even put it right there on your homepage. All right, well, now's the time when I want to hear from you, and I want to know which of these tips are you most excited to put into practice in 2019, or have you been using any of these already? I want to know all about it. Leave it in the comment section below, along with any questions you have. I'll look through everything and I'll answer every question that I can. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and click on the circle icon right over here to subscribe. And if you're ready to step up to a new strategic website in the new year, there's many ways I can work with you to make that happen. So go ahead and click this box right up here to see the different ways we can work together. All right, I'm Wes McDowell for The Deep End. I'll see you in our next video.